Hi everyone, this is Linka with 5 Minutes in Guinea, where I catch you up on what has been going on with us in Guinea. As you probably already know, it normally takes more than 5 minutes, and today I got some really good stories for you, so expect to be here a little while. Let's get started and get you caught up. Now, we were in Arizona for about 6 months. We were there to take care of our health care. We did a vacation, but mostly we had to get things taken care of medically that we just can't take care of here in Guinea. So we were happy to do that, and got completely healed up, so we were able to be ready for the long trip back. And tomorrow will mark the anniversary of 1 week being back here in Guinea in our assignment. So we're happy to be back, but it was a long trip. Let me tell you a little bit about it. First of all, we normally take 4 airplanes to get to where we are here. Fortunately, they started a brand new flight direct Phoenix to Paris, and we were so happy to get on that flight. So that's awesome. We would cut out at least one stop, and that makes things a lot easier. The problem was that flight was delayed, and it was going to delay so much that we missed our connecting flight. So what did we do? We had to change our flights. Now, there's not always flights from Paris to Conakry every day, and we had to figure out when it would be safe to arrive. There was a flight the next day, but it was going to arrive at 11 o'clock at night, and the missionaries in the area advised us that that was not a good idea. But the following day, the flight would arrive at 5 p.m. So that's how we got stuck in Paris for 2 days. After dozens of trips through the airport, having never stepped foot outside of the Paris airport, finally we got to explore Paris, and we're super happy to do it. We called up our friends last minute and we said, hey, we're gonna be in Paris tomorrow. Is there any way that we can stay at your house? And they were former need graders in this area, and we know them very well, and they were able to pick us up, and we were able to stay with them. It was actually super awesome. It almost couldn't have worked out any better than it did. They took us all over Paris. So that was our one day. Basically, we had 24 hours to explore. We were super tired because of the 9-hour time change from Phoenix to Paris. So plus the 10-hour flight. So, I mean, we were exhausted, but we were happy to be there. So we slept, we ate cheese, we ate croissants, and of course they took us all over Paris, and I mean all over. We took the I don't know, the metro, the subway, whatever, the train. We took the train, we took the bus, and we walked and we walked and we walked. I'm pretty sure my watch counted like 25,000 steps, so that was pretty much all over Paris. We got a good overview. So we got to go to the Eiffel Tower. We went up to the second level. We didn't go to the very top because it was closed because it was too windy. But from the Eiffel Tower, we got a good overview of the city. And then after that, we did walk around and we saw the Louvre. We saw Notre Dame. Notre Dame, gotta say it in French. You know, we practice our French the whole time. I'm sure we sound like silly Americans or African French. I don't know, but we had a good time. We saw some really great sights. We ate some really good food, and then after that, we got back on the plane. Fortunately, we were able to put our big luggage in storage. So we were traveling with large suitcases, and of course, we didn't want to take that all over Paris, and we couldn't even fit all of our suitcases into the little tiny European cars. So we put them in airport storage, and they charge you by the hour. Some people just leave it for a couple of hours, some people leave it for a day or a week. And that was super easy because then we were able to be free in Paris with just our little bags, and that worked out really well. Unfortunately, now because of the connection changes and the airline changes, we did have a problem when we got back to the airport. Our carry-on bags were okay by American standards, but by European standards, they didn't want to let us on, and it was because of the weight. And in America, it was fine, but in France, they're like, no. So what we ended up doing is we had to purchase a bag from the airport, combine our 2 carry-ons together, and then pay for that extra bag to be on the plane, and then abandon our hard case carry-on suitcases. So that was kind of stressful, kind of difficult. We didn't end up losing too much. We dumped some snacks, a pair of pants, a few random things, some half-used deodorant, and we're able to get under the weight limit and back on our way. So that was a little bit stressful, but that's okay. And then also in Paris, we noticed that our other bag was underweight, signaling to us that between Arizona and Paris, something had been stolen out of our bag. And sure enough, there was a paper in there that said the TSA had been in our bag. So something was missing. We don't actually know what it is yet. It's kind of hard to remember what was in each bag, and we're still kind of going through things and unpacking. So, but the good news is if we don't remember what we lost, then hopefully it wasn't too important. I think it was 4 pounds that was missing from that bag. So there must have been something that's gone. But anyways, we try not to worrying about stuff we can't control and just keep going forward. And we were on our way again to Guinea, West Africa. Super excited to be back home, back in the capital now. A brother picked us up in his taxi. All of our bags made it to the airport, so that's great. We're able to collect them all, and the brother took us downtown to stay with some other missionaries who are actually the newest missionaries in our country, and we don't know them too well, so it was really good that we got to spend some time with them too. So we stayed at their place, and let's see, we slept, of course, and we ate and we showered, and then and 2 days later, because it was a holiday or a weekend and a holiday weekend, 2 days later, then we went and got our visa. So every 2 to 3 years, we need to renew our visitor visa. It actually worked out really well, and that we were able to get it same day, just about an hour or two. It took us. Normally, it can take all day long, or it can take weeks for missionaries to renew their visas. So super happy we were able to do that, and we were ready to go on our way. So again, we got it all set up for us to take the taxi, and we asked the taxi to come and pick us up at our house and at the apartment where we were staying. And of course he was willing to. When he showed up at like 6 o'clock in the morning, the taxi was full of baggage on the top. And we're like, wait a minute, you do know we have bags too, right? And I mean, you can tell it's overflowing with packages. So there was a lady traveling with us, and she was selling medication, and she was refilling some pharmacies along the way. So that's an important detail that you're going to want to remember later, because that lady, her name was, what was her name? Mariam. Her name was Mariam, and she will come back into our story a little bit later. So the back seat was full of her packages. We took the 4 middle seats, so we paid for 4 places. So in the back seat, and the 3rd row was full of her packages, so nobody sat back there. And then the lady sat in the front row, and then they picked up an unaccompanied minor, probably about a 12-year-old little boy, and then the driver. And then there was an apprentice, and he was on the roof, and a little bit later, someone else joined him as a passenger on the roof. So that was our car. It wasn't like too filled. We're actually glad we weren't traveling with a million people, and we had plenty of space to move around, so that was good. So I sat on the left side behind the driver, and Peter sat on the right side. Between us, we put our backpacks, and in our backpacks we carry our computers, our telephones, computers we bought for the brothers here, and of course any traveling money that we have, and any food that we have for along the way, water, and anything that we might need in an emergency, such as being stuck on the side of the road for days at a time. So we had enough food, water, and supplies in case we needed to get stuck somewhere. So that's what we travel with. I also travel with a pillow, a couple of neck pillows for the airplane that work perfectly in the car too. And that's what we had. So we travel along and we're going, and the road in Guinea is rough, but it's better than it was before. And we're so happy that they have actually paved some of that road. So we're going pretty good, and it's not as crazy as it has been in the past. We are a little bit slower because the giant packages on top of the taxi, more than the size, doubling the size of the car, is braking as acting as a windbreak so that we slow down quite a bit. So we're not going super fast, but that's good too, because the driver is driving in a way that I'm not getting car sick. I also took anti-car sick medication, and I had my anti-car sick wristwatch, and I was doing good. I was good. And so that was a good part of the trip. So Peter and I tried to sleep most of the way. It's hard to sleep because you're moving and you can't sleep in a car, but we did our best to sleep. And jet lag is still playing with us, so we're kind of awake and asleep at odd times and very tired a lot of times. The trip went as usual. Nothing crazy, nothing exciting. We only stopped like one time to go to the bathroom. So yeah, you have to learn to drink water because it's hot, but also not too much water because they're not going to be stopping all the time. They did stop also to eat, and we were able to get a little food, got a little omelet sandwich, and that worked out really well. And then we made peanut butter and jelly sandwiches in the car. And so the trip was going as expected. We did not break down. We did not have a flat tire, and we did not get into a car accident. And the driver didn't smoke. There was no crazy people next to us. I would say all in all, it was a successful trip. We were happy that it was going as smooth as we can expect, right? So it took a long time. We left around 6:30 in the morning, and we arrived in our city at 3 o'clock in the morning. So that's about 20 hours of traveling. So it was tiring, but it was doable. So arriving in our city, they parked in the taxi station with other taxis. They have a policy that if they arrive during the middle of the night, they don't unload the taxi until daylight. So we were at 3 o'clock. Daylight was about 6:30. So we had about 3 hours to wait. No problem. We know about this. It's happened before. One time I was stuck in the back of the taxi when it was raining and the windows up, and I did have my one and only panic attack at that time. But this time was a lot better. Peter and I had plenty of room in the back seat. We could have the windows cracked for some air, and it wasn't super hot. So we were good. We're like, okay, just hang out. At that time now, that jet lag was kicking in, and I'm like, I'm going to stay awake and watch a movie. So I put my cell phone in my hand. I put my earplugs on, and you might have seen in some of my pictures, you might not, that I always carry my cell phone on like a cord. I wrap this around my neck, and I do that so that I don't drop it. 1, 2, I don't lose it because I can always find that cord pretty easily. And also it thwarts thieves, because it's attached to me. Now I do have it on a breakaway cord, so if it ever does get attached to, I don't know, a tree or something, that it wouldn't actually do me any harm. And then I also have a pop dot on the back of the phone, so it goes between my fingers, and in that way I have a pretty good grip, whether I'm on the motorcycle or walking around or whatever. It's good to go for me. So that's why I had my phone. Now the driver and the apprentice, they actually got out of the car and they slept next to the car. There's a little roof overhang, and there was some other guys sleeping over here, and it's pretty normal. They're exhausted too. They have a blanket, they cover themselves up, they sleep out there. The boy, unaccompanied minor, he got picked up by his family, And the lady who was selling the medication, she stretched out on the front seat between the two seats and went to sleep right away. Peter also was exhausted. He went to sleep right away. I was awake, right? So I was watching my movie, but I was also dozing. And so after a while, I did fall asleep. So at 4 o'clock in the morning, we arrived at 3. Now 4 o'clock in the morning, I have my phone in my hand and I feel a tug on my phone. And I must not have been completely asleep because I felt the tug. I opened my eyes, and there in front of me was a man leaning over the lady in the front seat with his hand on my phone, trying to pull it out of my hand. And it clicked instantly with me. I was like, I knew what was going on. Like, there's no reason he should have his hand on my phone. And so my first instinct, my reaction was to let out this blood curdling scream. Like, I screamed at the top of my lungs, and I just screamed, and that was it. And after the scream, I remember thinking to myself, that was a pretty good scream. All it took was one breath, one scream, and of course, everybody around me started waking up. The thief took off running. He took off running. Fortunately, he did not pull my phone because it would have probably gone with him, but I had my phone in my hand. I didn't even yank it back. He just let go of it, and I got it. And of course, Peter woke up, but he's dead asleep. He has no idea what's going on. The lady in front woke up, and she has no idea what's going on, but she sees that her door is open, and she saw the guy standing over her. And so she starts screaming. And then after he takes off, and a second later, she looks down, and she's like, my purse, my phone, they were stolen. So the thief had stolen her purse, her phone, and my phone in my hand playing a video was too tempting for him. And he was reaching over the lady from the passenger side outside to try and pull my phone and steal it. So fortunately, I woke up. Fortunately, he didn't have any kind of weapon or anything, and he took off running. I don't know how he opened the door without any of us hearing. Also, normally the doors are locked. Even before we went to sleep, I heard the driver do beep beep with his locking of the keys. But, these are really old cars, and they don't often lock correctly. So I know I heard it lock, but apparently none of the doors were locked completely. Maybe it was just the driver's side door that was locked. So there was that little false sense of security, but at the same time, who would think someone would come into the car and steal something out of your hand? I mean, really, that's never happened to us before, but I guess there's a first time for everything, right? So the guy took off running. There was a lot of commotion. Everybody came out, and of course, Guineans are very dramatic. They love to scream and cry and wail. And so the lady in the front seat, she continued screaming and crying, and everybody woke up. And there was another man that said he was sleeping outside too, and he had his phone charging with a power bank next to him. And when he woke up, heard all the commotion, he looked down, and his phone and power bank were also gone. So the thief got 2 phones, a power bank, and a purse. And the lady had stopped halfway and sold half of her merchandise. So she had that money from that merchandise in her purse. And now she had no phone, no purse, no money, no nothing. So he had gotten everything of hers. She had told us before, Mariam had told us that she didn't know anyone in our city, and she was just coming to sell this medication, and then she was going to go back right away. Now she had no idea how that was going to work because she had no money to get home, no way to contact anybody, and she knew 0 people in this city. So we felt really, really bad for her. At the same time, we were happy that we did not get anything stolen from us. We checked our bags right away, of course, and fortunately they were secure. Peter's backpack was between us, and we were laying on it. My backpack was also between us, but more in the front, and it was stuck between the seats, so you just couldn't get it out. And nothing was missing from those bags. They were there secure and our Peter had his phone in his pocket, and I was happy to have my phone, because imagine had I lost my phone, my service phone, my Bible study phone. I mean, it would have been very, very sad. The lady who lost her phone, she said that she had it only 2 months, and that her brother in France had sent it to her, and that she was just, devastated, because that's a big deal here in Guinea. It's expensive to get a phone, and for someone to give you one from France and then for it to be gone 2 months later, it's such a traumatic experience for her. And the gall of this thief to come in 4 o'clock at night into the taxi station specifically, to steal, because there was no other reason why he should have been there. And he was able to do it. Apparently, he was checking doors, looking for victims. I'm sure he has done this before, and he will most likely do it again. So, I mean, I looked at him straight in the eyes. I was still a little bit asleep, and, it's hard. I don't think I would recognize him again. I don't think I could describe him. I saw him, but, I kind of play that moment in my mind. And it's also interesting to judge my reaction too. Like, I didn't hit him. I didn't try to talk to him. Like, a lot of times I will talk to people, be like, what are you doing? But no, I just like, you're stealing. I'm going to scream. I'm going to tell everybody. So that's what happened. Fortunately, everybody was awake now, and everybody stayed awake for the next couple of hours until it was daylight came. We unloaded all of our packages. We called the other missionary brother here in the city, and he came to pick us up in his taxi. Of course, we were very vigilant in our bags then, because now we're kind of like, okay, we need to be careful, right? We're still a target. We were able to get home just fine. When we arrived home, Simba was so happy to see us. He was definitely excited, jumping around, crying. I did not get a video of the first time we opened the door because it was just too hectic. But we dropped off some stuff. We went and ate breakfast at the missionary's house, and then we came back, and I did get a video with Simba getting super excited the second time we came home. And he's been excited every time we come home since then. He's like, don't leave me again. So the good news is Simba is doing good. The cats are doing good. Both of our cats, Dora and Elsa, are here. We didn't know Dora was still here because we never saw pictures of her. The cats are actually in good health. They're a little bit fatter. The dog is fine. Like this couple that took care of them, this is their first time watching them, and they took really good care of them, much better than the last couple. And so we were really happy to find them in good health. The turtles, we're still checking. I know we lost some turtles. There was some baby turtles that we have not seen. I know there was an elderly turtle. She was our first turtle. She was almost 9 years old, and she passed away, but we know that was because of old age. She had a really good life with us, and Tarzana was a good turtle, and she had a nice life in our yard. So we know that we're missing her. We haven't seen a lot of turtles, so we got to go out and check and see where they're at, what's going on. But overall, we're happy to be home. There's a lot of work to be done. Every single surface has this layer of dirt. But not only that, a layer of mold. So we went through the dry season and the beginning of the rainy season, and there is dirt everywhere, mold everywhere. Every single surface that you touch, like, it's sticky. So you have to take that mold off of it, take that dust and mud off of it. Every item of clothing, bedding, towels, everything has that moldy smell to it. So we have to wash everything, sun everything out. We travel with a set of sheets because we know that that's how it is. So when we arrive, we have a new set of sheets to put on the bed. We had to clean the bed and everything, clean the bathroom in order for us just to take a shower and go to sleep. But of course, everything needs to be clean, like the floors, the tables, the chairs. It took us hours and hours and hours just to be able to sit down. The sister that lives in our yard, she gave us a meal for lunch, and that was very helpful. I already mentioned the other missionaries had breakfast for us, and they also had us over for dinner too. So at least we had some meals, because when we arrived, we have nothing in the refrigerator and we just have some canned goods. So we had to make do with what we had. And then the next day we went to the market. So after that, we keep working on the house, keep unpacking, keep going to the market. We went to the market 3 days in a row. We're still not done. There's still things that we need that's on our list. There's still things that we're cleaning. We are barely just now, it's a week later, barely just now getting everything unpacked and put away. And today we were going through our gifts. So basically we brought about a suitcase load full of gifts for the brothers and sisters. So we're going through those, sorting them out, and trying to see how we're gonna give it out. So we do the best we can in the circumstances to not only bring things that we need for the next 2 years, but maybe something that would help the brothers and sisters or give them a little bit of happiness too. So basically that's what we've been doing. Yesterday was the first day we got back out in the preaching work, and we were so excited. It felt like home. Like every single door, they invite you to sit down, you have a conversation, you read scriptures, you play the videos. We are a little bit fumbling with our new phones because we got to get it all set up to, play which videos, which language, everything, but it was perfect. We loved it. Even the Muslims in the area were super kind to us. They were super hospitable, invited us to sit down, and we had great conversations. And it reminds us, like, this is what we're here for. We spent 6 months in the United States, and never once did we have a conversation like the ones that we have here. Never once did we have a service day like the ones we have here. In the afternoon, we also went on our Bible studies. We have a few that are picking back up. We're trying to collect them again and figure out what's been going on. What have they been up to? Those who have progressed, those have fallen off the face of the earth. What's going on? Who's serious? Who's not serious? And as we get back to work, Peter actually stepped out to an elders meeting. So just had a minute. This is the first time I've been on my phone trying to get things sorted out, and just to give you guys an update that we are doing great. We're happy to be back, and we're super tired. Jet lag still playing with us. We've been going to bed super early, but and the good point is that helps us to get up a little bit earlier and get some things done. It was a crazy trip coming back here, especially with that thief in the last moment, but it was a good reminder, a reminder to be vigilant that, we are living in Satan's world, and there are people around us who don't care why we're here or anything like that. So, and then of course, a reminder to be kind to others, because that lady had her items stolen, and we got to keep ours. So that was like, what can you do? We were able to give the lady enough money so that she was able to eat and to get back to the capital, so that, she would be able to be safe also. So that was worth it to us. We didn't have our things stolen. She did. So we're happy to share with her a little bit. And hopefully that keeps us vigilant so that we don't have that happen to us again. We know, each time we live an experience, it teaches you something. The other missionary said, always expect the unexpected in Guinea. And that's the truth. You think you prepare for one thing and something else happens. That's how it is in Guinea. Always full of surprises. And we are, after almost 18 years now in Guinea, we are still getting surprised. So, but we're happy to be home. We're safe. We're healthy, at least for the moment, and that's what we're focusing on. So I hope you guys enjoyed this update, and we'll be checking in more with you as much as possible, as long as the internet's working, the electricity's working. By the way, the electricity has been on for the last week. It just went out this morning, and it hasn't come back on for the last 4 hours. So hopefully it comes back, because I do like having the refrigerator and the air conditioning. Peter's setting up some internet things so that we can try to get better internet in this area. I don't know, something that's supposed to trap it and boost it. I don't know, but I'm excited, because if that means I can communicate more with family and friends, then that will be great. So that's it for today, and I will catch up with you all later. And remember, no matter where you are in the world, you too can live the life of a missionary, full of adventures and surprises, But remember, you do that by doing the best that you can for Jehovah and being zealous in your ministry wherever you are. All right, bye everyone. Have a great day.